I've been looking at my Twitter, and there's like people flying in from out of town. And I would try to fly in yesterday, and I couldn't make it. I was flying in yesterday morning, so I had a signing at Barber's Books, and I couldn't make it there. I had 4 missed flights, and I was cabbing and shuttling through terminals and different carriers, and just couldn't get out. So I'm glad that I got here today. It was a bumpy ride, but made it in. So thank you, everybody who came out to help support my first book. This is pretty amazing. So I guess I'll just tell you a little bit about where the genesis of this project came from. Simon Schuster a year ago called me and asked me if I was interested in writing the book of cutting-edge fitness in today's world, and I took it to mean, do you want to put out this like fluffy BS like picture book of you that we can use as a PR tool and outsource all the materials and slap your shirtless photos on it and contribute to the mountain of junk, as I see it, that is populating the fitness world as it is today. I have a lot of celebrity fitness books that people have given me, and some that I bought, and kind of researching and thinking about what it is that I wanted to say. And all of them I was embarrassed to have face up on my coffee table when people came over. So I think one of the big things that I set out to do, if I was going to accept their challenge, was to make a book that I, as a guy, would be happy to have face up when somebody came over to us, or at least wouldn't be embarrassed about. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully we got close to that. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's all right. And aside from that, I wanted to set a lot of things straight, because growing up, and even till today, there's so much misinformation in the fitness world. You go into a gym, and there are floors of all these newfangled machines that don't work as well as the stuff that they had in the 1950s in Soviet Russia, let's say. And even before then, a lot of the strongman exercises work better than these machines. These machines have actually been built to make it easier on you while you're working out. And the point of working out is to damage yourself. It's to force the muscles into, you're hurting yourself in a very structured and scientific manner. And then for the other 23 hours of the day, you're taking care of yourself and doing things to maximize that damage that you did during that hour. So a lot of these machines take away core stabilization, things like that. So what I wanted to do was really set the record straight. I went back to, say Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, who is a good friend of mine who wrote the foreword for the book. His book, The Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, was published in 1987, and it was about all of the exercises that the bodybuilders at that time used. And we've learned some things since then. So this is a collection of everything that we know from then that works. It's as far as technique goes and some of the machines and exercises, but really what it is it's a throwback. I don't make my money in the fitness world. I have a day job. And, so it was, the great thing about this opportunity for me was that I get to tell the truth. I don't have to sell a product. I don't have to sell a gimmick. I don't have to prey on someone's insecurities or fears about fitness in order to sell the newfangled thing that's only going to work for a short period of time. I mean, look at those late night infomercials. A bunch of gimmicky products being tested and used by people whose physiques obviously weren't built by whatever product. I'm doing this. I don't want to say the product out loud, but there's a product where you move up, come on. Like, you've built that body doing that motion 12 hours a day. I mean, come on. That's just insane. So, there's just a lot of misinformation. Does this work? Does that work? And, listen, what works is in this book, and you need to look no further than the first page, which is my before picture. If you haven't seen it yet, it's been kind of viral on the internet this week. I was a scrawny, skinny kid that didn't fill out until he was close to 30 years old, no matter what I tried. And I think it's easy for people to sit on the couch and look at the people on TV and in movies and talk themselves out of even putting on their shoes and going to the gym. You look at those people and you go, that could never be me. That person probably was born with those genetics. They roll out of bed that way. There's no way. And what I'm trying to say to you, and believe me, is that that was not the case for me. There's a story I tell in the book about sitting on the couch at age 14, and I was sitting on the couch with my girlfriend at the time, freshman in high school, and we were watching MTV back when they used to show videos, and like the Under the Bridge Red Hot Chili Peppers video came on, which is, you know, Anthony Kiedis at the end running in slow motion, you know, long hair whipping, and, you know, pecs bouncing, slow motion. And I looked over, and it was just completely quiet, and I could tell that my girlfriend was just completely perving out on this guy. And I just thought, you know, fuck the Chili Peppers. I'm really kidding back here. Even a Polar Express read, try to keep it PG somewhat. But I was like, I hate those guys. And anytime for the rest of my life somebody brought up the Chili Peppers, I was like, I hate them. They suck, you know. And really, what it was, you know, my jealousy, my insecurity, my envy, what I found out later was a compass. It was a compass that was pointing north into exactly what it is that I really wanted to be. And come to find out, you know, 25 years later, I'm that shirtless asshole running around in slow motion. So, you know, it's kind of an amazing thing that all of those resentments that, you know, if converted, can turn into the type of rocket fuel to get you to your goal. And what that says to me is that it's mental. There's something mental blocking me at every step of the way. And, you know, my philosophy is described in chapter 2, which is 359. 359 is a number that changed my life. For thousands of years, human beings were only thought to be so fast. The mile is a unit of measurement that dates back to the Roman Empire. It's 1,000 paces by a Roman troop, a Roman soldier. And for years, and thousands of years, no human being could run a mile in under 4 minutes. And so theorists and physicists even postulated that human evolution had a ceiling to it, that human beings could only run so fast. But then in 1954, a British doctor decided that was wrong. And what he did was he took this impossible task, running a mile, and he broke it into 4 separate parts, 4 laps around a track. And then he found 4 runners that could run each lap in under a minute. And he lined them all up and would train against all 4 of them, repeatedly, back to back to back to back. And when he could beat all 4 in a row, he ran it for time, and he ran at 359.4. Now, the amazing thing is that 46 days later, someone else broke his record. And then within 2 years, people all around the world had broken the record. And today, the record is something like 347. Now, why for thousands of years could people not do it? And then the fact that this one guy thought, you know what? It's not that I'm the fastest person on the planet. It's not that I'm genetically superior. It's the fact that I'm going to use my brain and create a better training program and therefore make the impossible possible. And that is my whole philosophy. You look at this impossible task, I say break it into smaller, more digestible pieces that you can beat one after another, and before you know it, you're up and moving. And before you know it, let's say a year later, you look in the mirror and see someone completely different. You know, that type of philosophy, that type of work ethic, as developed by some of the best trainers in the world that I've studied with over the past 2 decades, has changed my life. And I want you to change your life too. I mean, I'm really happy to get this book out because it says everything that I want to say about something that I hold very close to my heart, which is the world of fitness. It's changed my life. And, you know, it changed the life of Arnold, changed the life of Joe Weider. And I'm, you know, standing here in a long line of those guys, you know, here to give this book away. So, you know, I'm really happy and grateful that you're all here to share this moment with me to launch my first book. And I guess we'll open it up to some questions if you have any. You just want me to stand here? Come on, you take the book and look at it all you want. I'm here, I might as well talk, right? Okay.
I could ask something up there.
Yeah, you have a question right there? I really do look like that. That's really me. No photoshopping either. That's really me. You got a question, sir?
2 people you could have been influenced by are my idol was Steve Reeves, who was the original Hercules, and somebody trained with occasionally was Gordon Scott, who was a fine Tarzan. Was that before your time, before Arnold?
That was before my time. My time was Arnold. I think those were the guys that Arnold looked up to. But yeah, my guy was Arnold, for sure. Yes.
So, big fan, obviously.
Hi, good to see you.
So, I really like Dragon Blood and Dragon Bones. You did the audio for that. Does it make sense to do an audio for this book?
So the question was, I'd done a couple of audiobooks, and then the question was, am I going to do one for this? Yeah, I want to do one. And I actually talked to my publisher over at Simon & Schuster about doing it. So hopefully, the book does well, and I find some time when I'm done with book tour, and yeah, the plans would be, to record something, so yeah, definitely. Yes.
You've done the ice cream commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very sexy, beautiful people with ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Does that kind of go against your philosophy in the book, or is it okay to, you know what I'm trying to say? You've got the Hollywood, the good looks, you're selling ice cream, and then normally then you look at society eating too much ice cream because we're fat. I mean, did you have any conflicts on that?
So the question was, I shot these campaign for Magnum ice cream bars this past year, and the question was, I guess, is that a conflict to writing a fitness book? Well, the thing about the book when you read it is, I get into my diet chapter, and once when you're working your butt off all week long, you deserve a cheat meal every week. I take a cheat meal every week, and it's like, get your hands and feet away from my face, and don't say anything to me for a good solid 20 minutes, because I'm going to go to town. It's like man versus food when I take my cheat meal. It's like, there's a place in LA called Roscoe's House of Fried Chicken and Waffles, and it's like, I go to town. So, the answer is, you don't have to give up all that stuff. You just have to learn how to take emotion out of eating. You don't eat to feel a certain way. What I'm saying is, train and feel better every day, and then plan that meal once a week and eat a whole box, and then get back to work the next day. Work along. Yeah.
This is kind of about working out and stretching. I know the book just came out on the 3rd. I actually have had it on my wish list since I think I knew that it was coming out. I can't remember if it was an interview, article. I don't know, because I'm always reading stuff like this. I have 1,000 of these at home. But do you recommend stretching before you work out, or do you get your heart up first? Do you stretch at the end? Do you stretch at the beginning and the end? What do you do?
Yeah, the question was about stretching. Do I stretch before I work out? And I'm about to be 37, so I definitely stretch a lot more than I used to stretch, for sure. That's probably the biggest difference. The funny thing is that 36, 37. I'm actually making bigger and better gains than ever in my entire life. Me at this age would kick my ass at any other age. So, it's actually phenomenal physically. From what we know now about nutrition and working out, it's we really have figured out the fountain of youth. My trainer's in his mid-40s, and he placed 9th in the world in the Masters CrossFit competition, and he's a beast. So, the trick is now, yes. When I was younger, I didn't have to stretch. Yes, I do now. I like to roll out. That's kind of a new fad, but it's not really. It's good for your fascia. I roll out, sciatic nerve and the IT bands down the sides of my legs, and I find that essential. I do that, yeah, absolutely. And if I'm going to do something upper body, I do a lot of arm circles. There's a lot of opening up of the hips and hamstring stretches and things like that I do before I hit the legs. I don't necessarily do. I used to do some yoga, but which I totally recommend, absolutely. But in my case, when I'm training 6 days a week, 2-a-days, it's I have to have time to eat and breathe and be a human being during the day. So, but I do recommend absolutely stretching, because a lot of the movements I do are compound athletic movements. There's isolation moves that I do for the muscles, but then there's compound athletic moves that I do to kind of take the working out and then apply it in an athletic way, so that my body is learning how to adjust its center and move all that weight around. Yes. Well, the body wants to plateau around 6 to 8 weeks. If you keep doing the same thing for 6 to 8 weeks, your body will start plateauing. So that's when you mix it up. And I think, you know, the workouts in my book obviously are, you know, there's 6 weeks of workouts in the book that I personally used to get in shape for my first shirtless scene on True Blood. So that's like the original werewolf workout in that book. So there's that. You know, I also just launched a website this week, evolution359.com, which is you can be trained by my trainer. Those workouts were designed by my trainer, and it's a continuation of that and in addition to that. So it's basically like there's 6 weeks in here. Well, week seven shows up on the website. And then also there will be other workouts as well, like I had trouble doing pull-ups. Well, there's going to be a 6-week pull-up trainer. There's going to be an 11-level ab program. You know, there's going to be a lot of stuff, and we're kind of creating a community on this website so that people can, you know, post their before and afters, and, you know, depending on what your goals are, to go work on those. And then there's actually